Hello everyone. We're getting ready for the month of Tammuz. This is the fourth month of the Jewish calendar, and it actually has a great deal of things happening within it. The most important being Shvasar Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz. Before I get to the 17th of Tammuz, I'd like to just go over a few things concerning the month in and of itself. It comes upon us this Monday, the 22nd and 23rd of June, and it begins the summer season. And in fact, Rashi says that this month is like a glowing furnace, meaning it's filled with heat, it's filled with fire. And in fact, of course, we all know that Tammuz is the end of June, the month of July, the central month of the summer season. Tammuz also has an interesting place in Torah literature. It exists specifically in the prophet Yechezkel and the prophet Ezekiel with reference to idols. And in fact, Tammuz is a god in idolatrous practice. And it talks about how women wept as the season became hot and things weren't going their way. The god Tammuz specifically was made of a certain metal, with the eyes being made of lead. And so the heat of the summer would make the eyes melt, looking like tears, as if the goddess was crying. And so they would look at this, and the people thought that they would need to pray to the idol. This is a major, major problem in Jewish practice, of course, worshiping an idol. And in fact, in the prophet Yechezkel, we see that this is what they saw, and one of the 5 greatest tragedies that occur in Tammuz is the worshiping of idols in the Beis Hamikdash, where an idol is brought into the Holy Temple. Which brings me to the 5 tragedies. The 5 tragedies that occur in this month begin with the Egel HaZahav, the golden calf. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, goes up Mount Sinai to receive the Aseret HaDibros, the 10 Commandments, and the people miscalculate the number of days that he's up on the mountain. There are those that are saying that he's up there 40 days, and where is he? He hadn't returned. And there were those who were saying it was 39 days, and he still had another day to come back. It happened to have been 39 days, but the majority of saying that he was past due caused the building of the Egel HaZahav, the golden calf, which caused great tragedy among Bnei Israel concerning Moshe bringing Aseret HaDibros and bringing the Torah to us. The second of the great tragedies was that there were no more korbanos, there were no more sacrifices in the Holy Temple during this month, during tragedy, specifically because there weren't enough sheep around. And when there are no korbanos, when there are no ritual sacrifices, the worship of the sacrifice, and what sacrifice really means is to give up a part of something that has great value, then the spirituality of Bnei Israel diminish and is diminished greatly. The third of the great tragedies is that a posthumous, who's a Roman general, he burns the Torah. He burns the Torah. Now, even today, in our times, when a Torah becomes pasul, when it becomes ritually impure, we often display it or use it for teaching, or it has to be buried in a very spiritual and respectful way. So the fact that a posthumous burns the Torah, and later on we see through history, even modern history, one of the greatest tragedies is when the Nazis burned Sifrei Torah from the Jewish world throughout all of Europe. We can see that a posthumous burning the Torah is literally trying to destroy God and destroy faith. Now, so far we have these tragedies that are telling us how difficult it is. The next tragedy is that Avodah Zarah in and of itself, the worship of idols, is brought into the Holy Temple to literally displace God, the one and only, as we recite in Shema Yisrael thrice daily. The goal is to displace God with Avodah Zarah, with an idol. And the idol is brought into the Beis HaMikdash, and this occurs in the month of Tammuz. But finally, we get to the worst tragedy of them all in the month of Tammuz, and that's in Shvasar B'Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz. And the 17th of Tammuz is a fast day that commemorates the breach of the walls of the Beis HaMikdash, of the Holy Temple, before the destruction of the Second Temple in 69 of the Common Era, 69 CE. That time frame opens up the 3 weeks of mourning, which goes from Shvasar B'Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz, through the 9th of Av, through the 9th day of the month of Av, 3 weeks, when the Beis HaMikdash, when both holy temples literally are burned to the ground in their entirety. Jews follow during these 3 weeks similar customs as in the counting of the Omer, from Pesach to Lag BaOmer. There are no weddings, there are no parties, we don't buy new furniture, new clothing. All the things that give us physical pleasures, we refrain from doing in the 3 weeks. For in fact, it is a mourning period. But we have to look always at the positive. In every cloud, there's a silver lining. And there is a silver lining in Tammuz. For it is in Tammuz that a major miracle takes place. And that major miracle is that God stops the sun. God stops the sun on the 3rd day of Tammuz, which allows Yehoshua, which allows the prophet Joshua and his army to be victorious in Givon over their enemies, the Amorites. Now, in fact, when we look at that miracle, where God literally stops the sun, it has to do with the physical war. For in fact, if God did not stop the sun, night would have come, and the Amorites would have come the next day with more fortifications and could have possibly defeated Joshua and his army. Where in fact, God keeps the sun up for another 12 hours. And Joshua and his army are strengthened, and they defeat their enemies in Givon. This victory, we remember how Joshua conquers conquers the land of Canaan, the land of Israel, and Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, move in. So when we look at Tammuz and we look at the time of the summer, which we are now approaching, and Tammuz coming upon us, remember there are great tragedies, but the one silver lining, the victory of Yeshua, is what should light for us and should give us the heat of the summer, the warmth of physical and spiritual to move forward. Thank you, everyone, for this YouTube. Have a good day.